Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Amy and Sophia's arrival at Tate's is where we pick up yesterday's episode of Days of Our Lives. Amy simply railroads over him and Sophia, claiming that he should be apologizing for messing around with her and getting her pregnant, despite his attempts at being kind. They were cautious, he says, but that isn't acceptable with Amy. She had huge plans for the future, and they shouldn't have had sex. Amy assures Tate that it will take place over her dead body when he points out that's why she needs an abortion. After pleading with her mother to avoid this conversation, Sophia informs Tate that abortion is prohibited by her faith. Although she is upset that this pregnancy occurred, Sophia is giving birth to the child and they are raising it together. There will be no unwed birth of my grandchild. The soon-to-be parents are even more appalled by that final detail. Mrs. Choi urges Tate to stop trying to tell her that's not going to happen since she's got a headache, they have a wedding to organize, and they need to figure out how to explain it to Sophia's father. Tate collapses on the couch, wondering how he would ever tell Holly, as she carries her terrified daughter away. Holly knocks on the door in distress as Doug is complaining that he still doesn't have enough money to get out of this hole. He conceals the money, and after promising him confidentiality, Holly quickly tells him about Tate's troubles. Do you believe that he would ever be honest with you? After finding out that Tate was planning to smuggle Sophia away for the abortion, Doug inquires. Most likely not. Tate believed they could still move on from it all now that she knew, but Holly acknowledges that she feels otherwise. He had already gotten a female pregnant when they eventually confessed their love for one another. That will always be between Sophia and Tate, whether they like it or not. Holly is reassured by Doug that she has every reason to be upset. She sighs, "Welcome to the drama that is my life." To help her forget about it for a few hours, Doug suggests that they attend the performance. New Year's Eve has arrived. Although she is grateful for the offer, she can't go through the night without thinking about Tate. EJ is shocked to be replaced in Jada's office. Jada merely drinks her coffee while he demands explanations, but he soon understands she was responsible. After telling him that it doesn't matter because it's her choice, Paulina outlines all the reasons why it's time for him to leave. "I fired you, EJ DiMera." He wants to know who will be taking his place, but Paulina says he won't know until she holds the press conference to make the announcement. Paulina, for heaven's sake, we are family. Yes, but unlike him, she is able to keep her personal and work lives apart. EJ turns to Jada before he storms out, telling her that he knows she did this and that she won't get away with it. Jada notes that EJ threatened Paulina, but Paulina is relieved it's over. Is it truly over? Paulina dismisses it with a giggle. He is merely a disobedient youngster. He could also tolerate being knocked down by a powerful lady. However, Jada has witnessed EJ's abilities. Paulina simply advises her to go celebrate with Rafe and relish her freedom from EJ for the new year. Don't worry. When Rafe confronts Arnold, he is prowling around the DiMeras. Hi, Rafe. I'm your old friend. Rafe is appalled, but Arnold cheerfully reveals how EJ staged his death. With Stefano's assistance. After 14 years in hiding, he became weary of it and was transported to Argentina. After telling him it was an error, Rafe takes out his phone to call the police, but Arnold beats him over the head. Sorry, buddy. Rafe won, I suppose. He takes a drink and speechifies over Rafe's comatose corpse on the couch as EJ arrives home, appalled by what he sees. After making sure he is Arnold, he yells at him and demands to know what happened. He also makes sure Rafe is still alive. Indeed, Arnold acknowledges that he told Rafe that EJ was the one who staged his demise. Jada calls, or Jada is calling, as Arnold puts it. Who is Jada? And Robo-Rafe has resumed its operations. After a few hesitancy, Arnold answers the phone and consents to meet at the pub. EJ insists on knowing his actions. Well, I discovered that giving them cute pet names makes the ladies happy. They had a mess to clean up, so EJ tells Arnold that he only wanted to see if he could pull it off. At the pub where they meet, Ava shows Brady the most recent text. He mentions that it arrived on Christmas and that he briefly visited Rachel with Kristen. Kristen appeared honest when she vowed she wasn't responsible. It's also a too straightforward plan. But Steve discovered that the texts were coming from the DiMera estate, she tells him. But she didn't call him there for that reason. It has to do with Tate. She describes to Brady how she met Mrs. Choi and how quickly things got out of control, particularly once Sophia's mother found out her daughter was expecting. And Tate owns the baby? Ava tells him plainly. She's really sorry, even though she knows it's not her problem. This is going to change everything for the both of them, says Brady in horror. Ava is unsure, but he cautiously attempts to learn Sophia's plans. After telling him and thanking her for being a wonderful friend, Brady sighs and leaves for home. She grimaced and told him, good luck. Holly praises Doug once more in the last moments of the show, but he demands that she not be left alone. There will only be the two of them there to witness the ball drop because no one else is present. After giving it some thought, Holly smiles and decides to stay. When Brady gets home, he notices how distressed his son is and inquires about Tate's well-being. Ava explained the situation to him. He says he wants to hear the specifics from Tate, but first he sits down and pats his knee. In the hopes that Arnold won't make matters worse, EJ pulls Rafe's body into the hidden passage. When the imposter arrives in the pub, he sits down with Jada and tells her that she looks fantastic. What's the big news, then? As she begins to tell him, she observes that his attire has changed. Arnold merely gives her a smile. Back in July, we were all taken aback to learn that Days of Our Lives had fired head writer Ron Carlivati after 7 years and replaced him with seasoned soap writers Paula Quigley and Jean Marie Ford. Even more startling was the fact that the alteration was taking effect right away. But that was all in the background. It was unclear when the adjustments would appear on our televisions because of the Peacock soap opera's meticulous production process. All we knew was that it was taking place in the spring of 2025, a few months away. However, the first airdate of the additional content has now been announced by the show. It is scheduled to start on Thursday, April 24th. For those who are dying to know what will happen and what changes we can anticipate, we are aware that it will still be 4 months before then, but at least we now know when it will happen. Although there isn't much information available, we do know that the show will be commemorating its 60th anniversary in the upcoming year. Furthermore, Deidre Hall, Marlena, and Susan Seaforth Hayes, Julie, pledged that, whether you like it or not, Body and Soul will be finished, while Theo Panglis, Tony, said upon his return that DiMera is back. Rather, we will hear about real people in real situations, the women stated. At Day of Days, executive producer Ken Corday was quite explicit about that. Instead of focusing on science fiction, he said, they are trying to root the show in much more of an interpersonal reality, with a return to romance and passion. Mark your calendars, for the show will enter a new era on April 24th. It seems like this new period will be based on the relationships and characters that we all adore. Having said that, we wanted to come up with a few ideas for improvements that we would really like to see in the upcoming months and years.